Hello, everybody. So over this past week, been a bit more quiet, allowing just space to be with friends and family in light of my uncle's recent transition. But I wanted to make this video today sharing two meditative contemplations or contemplative meditations, however you look at it, that came through. So before I do that, I want to offer a little insight as to what's going on in these contemplations, and it'll speak a little bit more to these Source Simplified meetings and also some of the one-on-one meetings I've been having recently. So there's this quote that says, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change, attributed to Wayne Dyer. And I believe he got the inspiration for that quote from A Course in Miracles. I'll say from my own experience, I have attempted to solve things in my life, maybe lives. I've attempted to solve problems in my life, but I did that prematurely. So instead of slowing down and observing, looking at what's actually happening, I jump the gun and try and solve the problem, whatever the problem may be. Whereas what I could have done, or what I can do now, is I can change the way I am relating to what reality is. Some people might call that meditation, introspection, contemplation. Insight, slowing down, changing our perception of what we think is happening to us, changing my perception of what I think is occurring or happening to me. Is that what is really happening? And instead of prematurely trying to solve a problem, I can discover, recognize what's actually happening. So instead of putting my energy into solving something that I don't even know exactly what the nature of the problem is or the nature of myself is in relationship to that problem, instead of doing that prematurely, I can slow down and say, wait a minute, what am I? What is this problem? What's actually happening here? And not do that in a merely conceptual way, but to actually commune with, be with the experience as it's arising. I'm not suggesting that in a moment of in an emergency moment to be doing this, but in a moment where one is able to safely, so to speak, step back from the situation, this can be immensely helpful. So I'm bringing that up because recently, in the past few weeks, it looks to me like too much of a focus by others and by myself, I'm included in this, externally. Too much external focus, too much trying to do this very thing I'm speaking to, solve a problem without having a more comprehensive, embodied understanding of the nature of oneself in relationship to the perceived problem. Therefore, learning more about the problem. So, why is this important? Well, this is empowering because when I am changing the way I'm looking at something, discovering my true nature, being with my true nature, I'm no longer a victim to a world that is happening to me. And that's my experience with this. So it's a balancing act, at least for me, it's a balancing act, which is just being present on a moment-by-moment basis. Because I can be inwardly changing the way I'm looking at something while I'm in the midst of that communication. Right now, I can be doing exactly what I'm talking about. This doesn't necessarily mean cross your legs and close your eyes and shut out all external stimuli. This is something that can be done all the time. Being present on a moment-by-moment basis and responding in a way that is in alignment with one's truth. Which for me is very different than showing up in relationships, in experiences with a familiar set of lines, that identity lines. I'm like, oh, well, this is what I say in this situation. What if I just meet the situation with emptiness? Okay, so I hope that's clear. Let me know if you have any questions, comments about this, about what I mean, because I do mean something very particular. And you know what? Before I get into the reading these contemplative pieces that I wrote here, I want to try and clarify what I mean particularly. Some find out this through extensive meditation with Buddhist practices. Some people call it non-duality. There's these different systems that help one recognize what I'm speaking of here, but really, very simply, it's that at the source of our perception, there is truth, and that truth is what hears these words now. It is a ever-present awareness that was with you when you were a baby, that was with you as you were growing up, and what's with you now. It's the primary thing. It's not a thing. At the source of your attention, or at the source of your consciousness, the source of your awareness. And through meditation, through contemplation, through insight practices, it appears through those mediums, comes to realize this, comes to experience this. And what I'm speaking about when I'm speaking about this, it's this very ordinary, interconnected presence with all that is. It's a lack of seeing evidence for any separation. I don't, of course, I know my phone is here, and I can feel the sensation on the tips of my fingers. Are these separate? Are my two fingers separate? They're qualitatively different. They have different qualities to them, and sensations arise, but there's no evidence for separation between me and any other being, or me and any other thing. This is all just one, I don't even know what to call it. Some people call it consciousness. Sometimes I call it suchness or thatness. And that's the only thing that I really do know. Everything else within that, of course, there's names and labels for things like this phone, this laptop, this poetry that I'm going to read, concepts, ideas. But all of this it appears to me, is just, there's a shared essence of oneness or unity with all of it. And I said that apparently people arrive at this understanding through these different practices, but I know for me, with my journey with meditation practice, plant medicines, there's this strange kind of knowing that it's always been this way. So it's as though I've gone on a journey only to look back and say, wow, I've always been here. Did I need to go on the journey to arrive at where I already was? And the whole way there in these different thought systems, they're saying the journey is the goal, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this is the crazy part. It's still it's still a mystery to me. It's still an ever unfolding discovery of what is this? It's a mystery. But all I know is that I am a part of the mystery is part of me. I'm part of the mystery. It's all one. And there's something that I find really, really extremely valuable about this, which is why I spend as much time as I can speaking to folks about this, having one-on-one meetings, having these group meetings, in all these different ways, sharing this. It's realizing that we truly all are one. And I do believe when more beings remember their nature, that the natural consequence of that will be more peace on earth, more love between human beings. So, to summarize that, the nature of being itself is what this is. It is ever present. It is beyond being an it, yet it is what hears these words. It's what sees this screen. It's the felt sense of I am here, of there's something here. And that's it. That's it. And I do believe it's sometimes overlooked because it is so obvious that it is so obvious that it gets overlooked. And so it seems to me to be a worthwhile pursuit to consciously put my attention, my focus, my efforts on the recognition and what comes to me is like the flowering of this understanding in all beings, because I am part of all beings. So I'm very much so included in this. Source Simplified. I'm going to do another meeting. It's going to be next week, 12 p.m. Eastern. You're invited. It's a group meeting. Anyone is invited. It's donation-based, and there's a contemplative meditation, and then after that, a Q&A dialogue where we dive into this. I'm also doing one-on-one sessions about that. All the information for that will be in the description to not this video, but any of the previous YouTube videos. Maybe you'll be able to find it here in the description of this video. That's a mystery to me as well. All right, so here's the contemplation. So feel free to come into a relaxed seat or lay down if you can handle it. I know when I lay down, I tend to soon after go into dreamland, but what do they say? They say when the body lays down, the mind sits up. And when the body sits up, the mind lays down. And I have found this to be somewhat true. My attentional ability and sensitivity is greater if I'm sitting up. If I lay down, probably going to go into dreamland. So pick your poison. Take a deep breath. Welcome everything. Welcome all the background noises. The dog's barking. Quiet your phone. If you haven't quieted your phone, you could put it on airplane mode or do not disturb. Let's begin. This which I have spoken of, this which is reality, this which is your true nature, our true nature, what is at the source of what hears these words and sees these images, this is all about letting go of the addiction to resistance. This is all about letting go of the addiction to resistance. Let go of all resistance and allow life to flow through you. Let life be lived by life, be loved by life. This is a moment by moment practice of letting go of even the most subtle forms of holding on. See, if you could just relax a little deeper now. Maybe there's tension in the eyebrows, clenching of the jaw. Take a scan of the body and just let go a little more. Let go of resistance by allowing yourself to feel as good as you are, not as good as you would have yourself be in the future. Let go of the future. What is here and now is far greater than anything that could ever be. Breathe in. Let go. And love your life now fully. For when you do that, you always will. Keep up this practice in every area of life, for this is what is most important. Every moment may be viewed as a test to be passed when in resistance, or every moment may be viewed as it is in the light of your presence, being with what is here and now. There is only really one choice to be made. infinitely over and over again. There is only ever really one choice to be made, infinitely over and over again, until this one choice is clearly relaxed into and perceived in every cell of one's body, until the time that is has been fully accepted and let go into one's being. Only then shall we know the magic of having let go of all forms of resistance. The voice that may say, no, it can't be that simple. Be realistic. Smile softly at any thought of doubt, and it shall melt into the heart of acceptance and compassion from which it came. Everything's time must come, and you've waited long enough to allow yourself to be here and now, fully. For what else is there? Listen into the void of the silent presence, and it is here your wellspring of creativity and all abundance lies. It is from this very moment of which you have placed so much faith that you are rewarded by the fruits of your labor. In the one place you most desired to find all you want, it is here, it is ours, it is now. Just relax, sink in, and listen for each creative answer you ask. All is provided in the moment it is genuinely asked upon. Not by manifesting what is not here now, but by letting go, by letting the gratitude of desiring all you experience now to be an ever arrival and giving forth in each moment. That's the end of the first contemplation. This last contemplation, second contemplation, it's about 1/3 as long as this first one, so feel free to remain in the relaxed state that you're in to receive this contemplation. Deep breath. If only I could put truth into words, into these words, what would I say? What could I say? Can the truth be said? Can I not say exactly what I mean? Is not the deepest poetry truth, and deepest truth poetry? So here it is. And as far and in as close as it can be said, this is it. This moment contains truth. What and whom hears and reads these words is inextricably connected with this truth. Or more accurately, what reads these words is the truth. All that is truth. There is no thing but this truth. The real, that is what you are. That is what this is. We are all the that which this is. As simple as that. When this is breathed into for what it is, one shall see that they have always seen and always shall. To be continued. Thank you for tuning in to this little exposition piece, monologue. Let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to know what resonated with you, what touched you, inspired you. And I will see you when I'm looking at you.